first to admit it. I'm not used to laying low about my feelings. Tell the world or write a book when I'm finished.
Child, if episode 1 was our polite welcome back, episode 2 is Houston, we got a problem. Let's talk about season 3, Pose, episode 2, The Intervention. The major concern in this episode is Pray Tell's alcoholism. However, there are interventions that need to be happening on quite a few fronts. We got Lulu and Angel smoking crack in their weed. We have Rickey kind of just floating, hanging on for dear life in his relationship with Pray Tell. Damon then ran back to North Carolina, child, leaving Blanca, having her stressed out about that. There's just so many things that are going on. Whew. Another of which is Blanca finally getting to meet her new boo's parents. And child, I don't know if I just missed his name or what, but they don't even have his name listed on IMDb. We just know that it's Blanca's bae. The crew meets up to talk with a drug counselor to discuss their intervention or possible intervention with Pray Tell. Again, this episode is all about trying to get Pray Tell to see what the alcoholism is doing to him as well as to his relationships with everyone else. I thought that they were going to actually have the intervention with the drug counselor, but they don't actually have it until the very end, child, on their own. And we're going to talk about that because that becomes a hot mess. In order to be able to pay for Pray Tell's rehab, they decided they're going to walk the next ball and try to capture up all of the cash prizes so that they can afford the $2,500 that it would be to put them in this wonderful facility upstate. And I just love to see them band together as a family, and I love to see them at the ball. So whatever reasons they can come up with to walk the balls together, I am here for it. In this episode, we really get a little bit more background into Blanca's new relationship. Again, she gets to meet his parents, and in that time of them having dinner, we get to see a flashback to them actually meeting each other and how that actually went down. And I don't know. I don't want to fall because I feel like I'm really falling for Blanca's love story with this guy. And I'm praying that he doesn't have some shady crap in his background or up his sleeve because he just seems so perfect. Aside from the first meeting with the parents not going well at all, completely being ridiculous. I mean, but what can we expect? This is the 90s. These are cis parents of a, I guess, I couldn't really tell, honestly. I couldn't really tell if his parents knew that he was attracted to women such as Blanca or a part of the community. That wasn't really clear. I feel like the mom put up a lot of tension once she found out, or once she clocked Blanca behind the idea of Blanca not being able to have kids. I wasn't really sure if her issue was that Blanca was transsexual or if it was just because she wanted to be able to have grandkids. But overall, their whole interaction did not go like it should have went. It went like most relationships or meeting the parents in this particular situation have gone, and that is unfortunate because the norm is for them to be non-understanding, judgmental bigots, just not accepting who your child loves for who that your child loves versus what it is for this in reference to just looking at it for being not what you want them to have. And that's unfortunate because, again, Blanca is an amazing, amazing woman, and it's clear that her boo loves her and really appreciates her and sees how amazing she is. It's unfortunate that his parents are not able to see that as well. And I mean, I guess that they also have a problem with her being transsexual because it comes out later that his dad is actually a psychologist who counsels transsexual people, but they don't really clarify how he counsels them. Like, he could be one of those cracked out doctors who tries to convince transsexual people that they are misguided or they don't know themselves or it's a problem. They're this life choice, and I'm using air quotes because it's all bullshit in reference to how they try to back then, how they try, or even now, how people try to brainwash people into not being who they are because they couldn't accept it. We're probably going to see a little bit more of that as the season goes on. We do get to see Blanca make her bae stand up for her because she did feel kind of abandoned at the dinner, and that he didn't rush to her defense or basically bring the smoke for his parents in the first time, but in the second time when they sat down with mama, He gathered here. He was like, that ain't gonna happen. I love her. If you can't love her, accept her, then guess what? You're gonna lose me. And that's when Mary had a little lamb. And I love to see it. All right, but y'all, let's get into Pray Tell's intervention. They decide to spring this on him at a family dinner where they read out their letters that they wrote by the advice of Lisa, the drug counselor, and it does not go off well. While the letters are written with love and well intentions, they are received poorly. Honestly, I think that Blanca, her letter was the best. Rickey's letter, to me, it felt like it was not like, while he had to get his feelings out, the fact that he put an ultimatum in his letter and said, I'm going to leave you, it's just like that just sent all of his letter to hell, because by then the person receiving it is only focused on you giving them an ultimatum. And it's like, if this is supposed to be a letter of communicating your feelings and love, I think that he should have left that out, because honestly, it's like when Rickey does his letter, that's kind of where shit really just hits the fan and everything else falls by the wayside. Pray Tell completely shuts down and does not receive anything from anyone else, clocking everyone as, or all the other people as, young. Then Elektra gives her letter, and of course her letter comes from a very strong, tough love place, which doesn't resonate as well. And then Pray Tell decides to go ahead and read everyone for filth. Complete and utter filth, child. I cannot. The hurtful things that he said was just ridiculous. And that's when I really, 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 really knew that his alcoholism had become a problem, because he was operating exactly like an addict in that moment and lashing out and so defensive. And then that carries on once they get back to his apartment and Rickey actually packs his bags and he's leaving. And they actually have an altercation. He's still slick-tongued with it, lashing out until Rickey's like, no, I'm really going. And then Pray Tell breaks down and is like, please don't leave me. Please, please, please don't leave me. They have that whole moment of vulnerability. And I'm actually proud of Rickey in this moment, because while he's able to hold Pray Tell and try to comfort him in this heightened emotional state, he still says, I have to go. I can't stay. He doesn't allow the manipulation that comes from a person who is an addict, in reference to using various tactics, using anger, using guilt, using sorrow, all of the things that they are equipped with to use. He doesn't allow that to keep him there. And he ultimately makes the best decision for his mental health as well as for their relationship. This, I think, is one of the pivotal things that needs to happen for Pray Tell to get it together. And while he doesn't see it in the moment, he still lashes out. It becomes one of the things that literally becomes a tentpole of, yeah, you really need to get help, because this is not okay. Ultimately, Castle's struggling with his disease and making the decision to go to the plaza and start on his plan. Like, they had a conversation earlier in the episode and Pray Tell was worried, and Castle's like, oh no, I didn't commit suicide. If I did, I would do it at the plaza. I would order room service. I would do X, Y, and Z. And that's when you know that I had actually given up. And we actually get a moment after that. Pray Tell brings him to the ball because he's unaware of the fact that he's included in the plan to win all the money so that they can send him off to rehab. But at the ball, he actually passes out because Castle has been drinking in addition to using this medicine. And then by the end of the episode, Castle disappears after getting out of the hospital. And once Pray Tell realizes that his meds are missing, he knows that, okay, he's actually at the plaza. He goes to the plaza to actually find him. And thank God Castle couldn't actually go through with it. But, well, actually not a but. Thank God for both. Thank God that Castle wasn't able to actually go through with the suicide, and thank God that Pray Tell knew about it and found him, because Castle is the one who ultimately pushes Pray Tell to get help. He says, I will keep fighting for my life if you keep fighting for yours. If you give up the alcohol and do what you got to do, then I will definitely be here and I will focus on getting better. And they both agree, and then we get to see Pray Tell actually act on this and stick by his word and allows Blanca to take him to rehab. By the end of the episode, we also see others turn the corner. So Angel is accepting responsibility for smoking crack and falling off the wagon, and she wants to prioritize her sobriety moving forward. She actually has a heart-to-heart with little Papi after having a conversation with Lisa, the drug counselor, and realizing that the road that she was going down is not one that she wanted to be on. She wants to focus on positivity, her career, and ultimately their marriage. And I love this moment of vulnerability. I love Angel as a character. Angel is so complicated and beautiful, and it's awesome to see. But I love that they were able to have this dialogue, and we get to see the different layers of addiction in this episode and how each character kind of like handles it a little bit differently. Lulu also has to make a decision and has to make an adjustment because Elektra pulls her out of the performance at the ball because she's sweating profusely and looks all cracked out. And Elektra levels with her like, Mother knows what you're doing. You need to get together. This is not okay. And gives her the tough love that she needs. I think the only difference with Lulu and Angel is that Lulu doesn't have a partner that can validate every single step that she makes. So Angel is lucky in that Lil Papi worships the ground that she walks on. Lil Papi is going to tell her that she's beautiful a million times a day. It's going to tell her that she's loved a million times a day. And Lulu doesn't have that. But she does have Elektra. Elektra is not okay with seeing her like this. And ultimately, Lulu realized that she's not okay with seeing herself like this. What I really want to know is what is going to happen with Khan, because Khan seems to be spiraling in his own way. Like all of this disrespectful energy, this vengeful energy, this negative energy that he's spewing. I know that he's sad about Cubby's death, but there has to be something more going on there. And the fact that he's operating in such a negative space makes me wonder. Like after seeing Pray Tell knock him out, I'm just like, okay, like is this going to be the thing that helps get them together and realize like, yo, you're acting wild and crazy, you're acting ridiculous, and this is not okay? Or is he going to remain one of the antagonists the rest of the season? I hope not. But that is it for my episode 2, season 3 of Pose, the intervention breakdown. Now is your turn. Tell me what you thought of this episode in the comment section down below. It's your girl Erica Vane, and if you're new here, I post new television breakdowns from your favorite shows, as well as film reviews and entertainment news every day, multiple times a day. I'm covering some of your favorite shows, such as Pose, and you should really join the tribe by hitting subscribe. Go ahead and like the video because you made it to the end and I know you liked it, and share it if you really want to support your good sis Erica Vane. If you missed any of my Pose coverage, I have my Pose playlist linked right here, and if you're looking for something else to watch, I got 2 suggestions for you right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next amazing Pose video.